Hi, welcome to Third-eye Thursday here at Vision Quest Metaphysical Bookstore. I'm Dylan. I work here behind the counter and in the office, and tonight we have Constantina here with us. And she's one of our psychics. She's been with us for about 1.5 years now.
Correct.
And welcome. Here we...
At least in this lifetime, right?
At least in this lifetime, thank God. I'm so glad you're here. We love having her here. She's an amazing, amazing reader. She works here Monday through Thursday.
That's correct.
From 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. You can come in and see her at 3114 East Indian School Road in Phoenix, or you can give us a call and get a reading with her that way, and you can call us at 480-949-1888. So, thank you. So yeah, this, what is it that you kind of do here? I know you're one of our special ones. You do something a little different than a lot of our readers.
I read playing cards.
That's definitely different.
And that is actually the original format of Tarot.
Very cool. So
That's right.
When did that kind of...
In the mid-1800s is when the major arcana was developed, and the playing card was evolved into a tarot card. But prior to that, they started out as playing cards, as a game, and then it became a divination tool, partly probably because of the numbers. And that is said to have evolved out of China.
Oh, very
Some people say it's Egypt, but I think it was China. Yes.
There you go.
There you go.
That's fun.
Yes.
And how did you get started with working with them?
Well, I've always been psychic, to use that word, which is a general word. I was able to see little fairies under the fairy beings and sprites. As a young child, I used to talk to all the pansies and all the fuchsia flowers, the little ballerinas, and I had a very vivid imagination, I guess. And so my mother was encouraging of that, and so when we lived in Los Angeles, and she would take me to see some of the psychics that were around during that era, back in the Buffalo days when Jean Dixon was alive and Kenny Kingston and those people. And so we went to one lady. At that time, I was maybe about 8 or 9 years old, and I was not interested at all in any of this. And she would drag me, literally drag me. And she wanted this particularly talented woman, beautiful spirit. She was probably in her 80s, and she stood probably about 5'10". And she had this beautiful platinum hair that she'd wear in a chiffon, chignon, is that what we call it? And she had the most gentle, gracious spirit. And she realized that I didn't want a reading, that my mother was forcing me. And she laid out the cards, and she told me 3 things that eventually took place. And she said to me, one day, you'll be doing this. And when I left, I thought to myself, she's such a beautiful lady. It's too bad she's senile. And lo and behold.
Look how senile she was. Oh, man. That is definitely fun. Yeah, there are a lot of people that would probably have the same kind of thing of, I'm never going to do that. And look at that. Here you are.
Well, I think a lot of people have the gift, and a lot of young people have the gift. And in the culture that we live in presently, there's a lot of suppression of that. If you cannot edify it scientifically and justify it logically, people feel different. Just having a knowing can be unnerving, especially if you're a person who can see and know when someone's going to pass, or if you have dreams about airplanes that are going to crash. And major events like 9/11 was known by a lot of people before it actually happened. And that kind of information is very hard for a person to carry, if you understand what I mean by that.
Yeah.
And so I feel it's important to have a network of people that do like-minded things so that we can support each other. Because it isn't always easy to see that kind of thing and know it's going to happen.
Yeah, it definitely is not easy. I know that my first experience with people that have passed on scared me just a bit. Mm-hmm. I kind of ran in the opposite direction. But I'm trying. I'm getting back out there.
You can't disappear from the all-seeing, can you?
No, you really can't. That's kind of difficult to do there. I mean, if someone can do it, please teach me the trick. I would love to know it. Just every once in a while. But, and I know with you, not only is it about reading the cards, but you deal with business consulting or helping people with that.
Well, I eventually discovered, or it was acknowledged, that the council that was talking to me was actually the Council of Archangel Michael. And I didn't become aware of that till I was about 25. So there's different aspects of Archangel Michael, because that's a large entity, correct? And so they deal with, there's certain facets that will deal with personal relationships or business and economics or psychological issues, and depending on what the need is, based on what the reading is about, is what will come forward. My forte that I enjoy doing is helping people to structure a business association with other people that are going to benefit really into the future, not just necessarily an organization, just because a small mom and pop, although that's okay, but reaching more to the stars. How do you? Because from that we are actually building the ascended Earth. We have to look towards where we want to go and where we want to be as a society and a culture, and that is something that we are actually building, and if we build it consciously, we will wind up with what we want to be experiencing, rather than always experiencing something and wanting to change it and make it something else. Definitely.
And with all of this, I know one of the other things you work with are altars.
That's right.
What are some of your favorite pieces to put on an altar? How do you go about building an altar for yourself?
I had, as a child, built altars, but I didn't know what it was. And when you come up with an Orthodox religion, the idea that an altar is only in a church is kind of what you accept. Everything we do every step we make is a sacred step on the sacred path, which is the journey of our life. And everything we do involves altars. Some people's altars, i.e. their desks, are in a state of chaos, correct? And that's their altar of chaos. So, and if that works for them, that's fine. But if we intention, because an altar is about intention, correct? So when you intention, whatever goes on the altar, you've placed there for reasons because of the intention. One time I was driving on a very narrow passage called Highway 17 in Ben Lomond, Santa Cruz area, a very dangerous path. And my car at the top of the summit, about 5,000 feet up, all of a sudden stopped. And I barely got it moved over to the side of the road. There was nothing, the traffic was going, we got up the hill where the trees, and there was no cell phone at that time. And I didn't, what am I going to do? I had two people that one of them needed medical attention and I needed to get to Santa Cruz. So I had been involved with natives at that point who always do use ceremonial altars. And I didn't have the tobacco and the normal, things that we think of on an altar. The only thing I had was some coins or change in my pocket. So when I got up the hill and I'm praying and I'm saying, please just help me know what to do here, the voice said, lay down an altar. And I said, but I don't have anything. And they said, no, yes, you do. Lay down what you have. And all I had was the coins. And I put the coins down. I got back down to the car. It started, and we got down to safety. So that's when I started to realize that it works. And it works for our benefit. It's not just about praising or giving glory to something that we can't see. We can actually use this to quote unquote manifest blessings and healings in our life.
Yeah. No, I use altars I have many different altars spread out through my whole house, and different things go on different altars, and it kind of all shifts and changes depending on what I'm needing to bring.
That's right.
Because you never know.
You never know. So here at Vision Quest, they provide a variety of different items for altars depending on your particular focus.
Yes.
So you could have a Christian altar, you can have a native altar, a pagan altar,
mixture of all of it.
All of it together. In the practice that I do, there's always a natural element, and water is always a primary element. That is the first sacrament. We all came out of water, didn't we?
We did. I know I don't go anywhere without it. That's for sure. Also, I want to remind everyone, please leave questions in the comments. We will be doing readings as well tonight. Well, Constantina will be doing readings for you guys as well tonight.
I like the we. We can do the we.
We. It works. It works. I know some of the things on here are things you use regularly. What are some of your favorite things that you have?
One of the things that I do with altars is go, because I've traveled a lot across the country driving, and I will stop at different places that need blessings and prayers and healings. And so that's what I do, is bring altars that help to focus on those blessings. And for instance, I stop at prisons, I stop at hospitals, I stop at forts, cemeteries, sometimes schools, to sometimes just make prayers on the highway for the safety at nuclear plants. So as we journey through our life, we want to be a blessing, I think, rather than the problem. Although I have been noted to be the problem many times. However, I'm trying to be a blessing. And coming back to what I use is more along the native lines, which is the smudging using sweetgrass, sage, cedar, flat cedar, and of course there's different varieties of sage. I always have a rock because that represents the Mother Earth, like I said, the water. You can have also, you could put copal, you could have, help me now, earth element, and all of that. These are the offering bowls. That's what I was trying to say. So if you're in, for instance, if you're on a beach and there's seaweed, you can take the seaweed and braid it. And as you braid it, you do the prayers. That's what braiding is for, is to do prayers with the intention. And that makes a person strong and whole. Back in the old days, the mother or the wife or the husband to the wife we braided each other's hair. And that was to put the power back into the person so they would be strong for that day. That's why when anybody had their hair cut, chopped, it was a form of annihilating them, their spirit.
Wow.
So I don't know how I got off into that segment, but
it's all good. We all learned something from it.
Right.
So
again,
good.
It's the intention involved with an altar.
There you go. I love it. So let's get started with some questions. We have Monique who is saying, I need to know if money will get better and if my husband will be happy with his job. And then also wondering if her parent will move out soon. So money, a job, and family moving.
All right. I do see money getting better. I do see a job coming forward for you. Let's see about the parent. So is that parent, well, I can't ask you a question really, can I? The situation with the parent is finite. So yes, the parent will be leaving. But right now you want to value the experience of that and make it the best you can and be grateful for it and know that it will, nothing stays the same. Change is always the permanent one.
Definitely is.
Okay.
Very cool. Bonnie is saying, I am sensing a change coming for me to take a chance and is looking for confirmation.
So by the mere fact that you used the word sensing means that you already know the answer to this, Bonnie. But I will give you the confirmation of that. How about that? Here comes the change, and you're going to be very happy and successful in that change.
See, confirmation. Confirmation all around. Trust in that gut instinct. Trust that feeling.
Yes, yes.
Andy is saying, I wanted to know if I could get a general reading. So is there anything general that Andy might need to know coming up? Or anything in particular?
Okay. Okay, you know what they're going to tell you? You need to get more specific on your questions if you want to have the life you want. General questions don't cut it.
Well,
So,
well, that's not an answer for...
Questions. Keep asking questions and get more specific about the questions you're asking, and you will have your answers.
Very nice. Lauren is wondering, can you tell me if I will have a child in my future? Let children talk.
Well, yes, you can, but you have to find the one you love first. So you're going to find the one you love, so yes, you will have the child.
That's good. It's always better
You know, don't always have to have, you know, it can be immaculate. Yes. Let me predict what the next question is.
Oh, man. Natasha is wondering, should I contact my twin flame?
Well, you know, my guys are a little, what would you call them? Contraries. They're contraries. So if he's your twin flame, why wouldn't you contact him? You know, what are you waiting for? Right?
Is this, and is she's also wondering, let's get some words out. Is he currently dying with it? So is he okay? Her twin flame?
Well, he definitely has some issues that are going on that are quite serious. What he really needs and is exactly what you would need from him if you were in the same circumstances. He needs somebody to be a friend and be compassionate and hold and prayer and blessing for this person. And you can send that from any place you are, and it can be felt. We are here, you know, and I'm talking about prayer in a non-religious sense. It's more of a invocation of what you want. to have happen for somebody in a good way, because whatever we pray for others also comes back to us.
There you go. And Ashley is asking, do you see any more children in my future?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. See, this is when my guides would ask her if she is, it may not be with the same man. I hope you're not watching with the other one.
Well, that could.
Well,
You said you see it with maybe someone else.
I should have just stuck to yes and moved on.
But this is why we have the readings and we bring in that information. Melissa is asking, will a good friend of mine come back in my life?
Yes. Definitely.
Yay. Love when people come
I'm
back.
trying very hard not to get in any more trouble. So yes and no questions, right?
No, you're not getting in trouble. You're fine. People are asking the questions because they want the answers, so we give them the answers.
That's correct. Yes.
And so for people that aren't able, or if you want any clarity into anything that you're seeing tonight, then you can always, again, come in and see Constantina here Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sometime this evening, I might actually remember that without having to think about it twice. And you can come in at 3114 East Indian School Road in Phoenix, or you can give her a call and we can get you with her over the phone, and you can call us at 480-949-1888. So that's, if there's anything that you have a question about tonight and then you want further explanation, please come in and see her. She's a lot of fun, as you can tell. Candace is wondering, will I move closer to my twin sister this year?
Yes, and she needs to have you around. She's gone through a very difficult time, and both of you need to stand together.
Very nice. Nate is wondering, am I ever going to regain what I lost this year?
I hope you don't regain the weight. I'm so sorry. I have to go home now. Yes, but it's going to be a slower process for you. But you will. Because what really has affected you is losing confidence. And once you start really looking at taking an inventory or assessment of everything you've ever accomplished in your life, then you'll realize that what you lost was only a small segment of what you have gained throughout your life. So this is just one stop on that path of your journey. So yes, it will come back.
Okay. To Mel, I know she was saying that I would love to learn how to read normal cards. And I know you don't have any classes on the calendar right now, but that is one class you've actually taught before, is how to read playing cards.
Mm-hmm.
Are you looking to be doing those in the near future?
I would like to. I'll have to figure out how to read these cards before I teach the class. But yes, I would like to do that, yes.
We'll definitely get that on the list
Thank you.
for what should be coming up, Mel. And as soon as we know, just tune in and we'll keep an eye out for you and let you know. Mary is saying, I'm getting married this July. How does it look like?
Mm-hmm. Oh, look at that. Excellent. Excellent. And that is the marriage card. So that really will be happening. He will not get cold feet, okay? Everybody will be there. Wonderful celebration. A wonderful uniting of families. Beautiful.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun.
Mm-hmm.
I love weddings. They're a great just experience.
Mm-hmm. I like the honeymoon, and you can keep the wedding.
I mean, I'll take the honeymoon too, but the wedding was definitely fun as well. Maura is, and if I mispronounce anyone's name tonight, I'm so sorry. Maura is wondering, why is my love life upside down?
Well, it's kind of simple. You're picking the wrong person. And you're picking the same kind of person over and over and over again. So when you accept yourself for who you are and what your needs are, and don't settle, then you have and build a beautiful relationship the way you want it.
Molly is wondering, am I staying at my current job? There you go, some business ones, kind of.
Mm-hmm. I think you're going to look for a new one. But it's time to. It doesn't mean you have to jump out of it right this minute. But the fact that you've asked it, your higher self is telling you that it's time for you to go in another direction.
There you go. Ow. Sorry. So, Vanessa.
Readjusting that skeleton, aren't you?
Just a little bit there. Vanessa is wondering, what do I need to do to get the courage to quit my job, and when should I do it? What should I put my focus on next?
Okay, the courage to quit your job, get really drunk, go in and insult your boss, and then leave.
It's one way to quit.
I hope you haven't done that already. What was the question again? What was the courage to quit the job? And what else will you do? Well, you need to get more into a creative venue, but a creative venue that makes you money. So it's more like what do you call that? Business art, business. Come on, help me with this. How do you say it? Come on. There is a word for this, like commercial art instead of fine art. So getting yourself out there in an aspect of career that brings you around other people that you can work, because you work well with other people. You're not the kind of creative person that does well sitting at home by yourself. Your juices start flowing when you are around people, and that's part of what's wrong with where you're working right now, is you're not getting the stimulation that you need.
There you go. Hey, I'm having a hard enough time reading the words. You can come up with other ones on my own here. Give me a break. No.
I need an interpreter. Yes. I'm supposed to be the interpreter, but I need an interpreter.
Right? Every once in a while we all need something, right? Mary is wondering, will my son find his path after high school?
Is path home? Get a map. Oh. Okay. Wow. What was the question?
Will my son find his path after high school?
Your son is going to be a very successful person. The one thing he needs to figure out, Mom, is what he really wants to do. Not what you expect him to do or what you think he's talented in doing. He is going to have to do what he desires, what is his passion. And right now he doesn't know what that is. He only knows what's been programmed into him by school and other people around him. So he will go out and it will look like he's having an experiment and that he's not coming back, but he is going to be an extremely successful human being. And he is going to find a love, and he's going to settle down fairly early. And don't be concerned about that, because he does know who he wants to be with. And he probably knows already. He's probably already met that person. So you might say, oh my God, he's too young for that, but he knows. What he has to know is that he knows. And that's what you encourage him to do. He will leave, but he will always stay connected to you if you allow him to do the exploration that he needs to do.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
And so what are some of the other things? I know you do the business, you deal with the business side of things, but what are some of the other things that you hit on?
There are, I'm clairaudient, clairvoyant, clairsentient, all the clairs.
All the
right?
clairs. Hey, we got all the clairs.
And what's interesting about that, because I would love to see, if I get to chime in here, I would love to see Vision Quest offer classes for young people and developing their psychic abilities, because not all those skills came in all at the same time. I was actually a dreamer at first. I dreamt things that happened. And then as it evolved, I became more conscious and aware and awake when I had those visions. So what was the question? What was the question?
I was asking what it was you do here other than, or what are the other things you work with?
You know, sometimes there are I see dead people, and sometimes I'll see a vision of a place and be able to describe certain things. That doesn't happen all the time, so it depends. It's contingent upon the situation. There are many times that I will see things that maybe shouldn't be expressed, and I don't, because you're learning. I guess I'm talking to people who want to be psychics or intuitive and use that skill. We have to learn to give permission or be given permission on a lot of the things that we speak. So it's an intentioned reading, and we are responsible for the information we give to people. So if somebody says to you, oh, go ahead, divorce that person, or go ahead and do this or do that, sell the business, buy the business, that's the kind of thing you need to run by your own intuition and make sure that it's your choice and not just because you're letting someone impress you to do so. I don't know how I launched that one. Do you know?
I don't know. But it made me actually think of something. Is there ever a time where there's information that your guides or people that you connect to for your reading tell you, here's this information, but I'm not sure if they're ready to hear it yet? Or are there ever any moments like that? If that question made sense.
Well, that's to me, I'm interpreting that question as along the lines of what I was speaking.
Yeah.
So, for instance, maybe I start a reading and I see something, and in my younger day, I would just say it. And sometimes my guides will say, wait, and they're going to ask you about this, and that's giving you permission to speak it. And sure enough, usually it comes around, and they'll acknowledge what I already know, and then I can speak it. Some people are not ready for certain information. For instance, people who come and see me on a regular basis, sometimes I'll know or see something that's going to be happening, but they don't want me to say anything, and by the third time they come around, now we're in that section or segment of their experience.
I was just wondering about that, like for myself even, because
I think that the tendency for people doing readings can be that you just want to speak it all. But as my guides have been working with me, they are making me much more aware of my vocabulary and how I speak things, because whenever we speak to each other, we can program each other. And what we're really trying to do, in my opinion, or what I'm being trained in, is we want to be waking up. We don't want to be in trance or in a trance state or programmed. People can go into readers and they can get confirmed by those readings of exactly what they should be moving out of, if you understand what I mean. And it takes the development of these abilities are also raising up in vibration. And I will say this about Vision Quest, and I have been in the psychic world for a long, long time and have known some very famous psychics. Vision Quest has some very excellent people here. I really mean that.
I mean, we have you, so of course we do.
Of course.
Of course. Yeah, no, I really do. I've been to many places, and I was raised in LA too, so... You know, you see a lot. You see a lot of different options here, and I really do. I love the people here. They're genuine. Just in general, they're genuine.
And they all agree with me, so that makes it perfect. So.
Told you. We have you. We're set. We'll get a few more questions in here. We have Pam. Here's a business one for you. Will my business thrive this year?
All right. You're doing exactly what you were meant to do, and yes, it will thrive. Absolutely. Have no doubt. Have no doubt. You already created that template for this, so just trust it and go with it. Remember, everything is on a timing.
There you go. Nice. We also have another business one, and Andrea is wondering if her business will expand this year.
Very much so. Actually, the guides are using the word morph. It's going to morph itself and become a more viable business that's going to reach a larger audience. So that's positive and good.
Yeah. Brandy is wondering, am I sick, and if so, will I be okay?
You're not sick, and you're fine, okay? And I'm not trying to take your health lightly. And happiness is the key to good health. That I read that in a fortune cookie.
Carolina, again, if I mispronounce names tonight, I'm sorry. It's hard when you're reading them. You don't know how people choose to pronounce them. I know I have that issue with mine. I would like to know if I'm going to get pregnant soon, and if it's going to happen naturally, or will I have to do artificial insemination?
underneath this question is a lot of fear and concern. I believe that it's coming from past, from your genetics, the history maybe in your family, because it's not real in terms of how it's applicable to you. So once you start addressing the fears of specifically miscarriages, you will, and know that you are not your ancestors. I mean, you are, but you aren't in this life. You are living your life. You will, everything will work very successfully. But if you keep your mind into a paradigm that's not yours, you will have difficulty. It's up to you how you think. Choose your thoughts.
There you go. Stacy is wondering, saying, would love to know about my marriage.
Well, try to work on it. Be yourself and let somebody else be who they are. The first is the communication, and listen to exactly what's being said. Don't try to filter it. Don't try to change anybody. Don't try to change yourself, and you will know the answer.
Teresa is wondering, what do you see for me at the place I work at?
Chairs. I see a door. Sorry.
Maybe a couple of desks.
I'm so sorry. My kids always say I can't take you anywhere. Well, I see a possible promotion. If you're not in management, you will eventually become in management. And if you aren't with someone, you may actually find someone that you love very deeply.
There you go. Mm-hmm. That's fun. Tanya is...
Office affairs always are.
Don't work in an office, I wouldn't know. Tanya's wondering if the position she applied for today will be hers.
Mm-hmm. What I'm hearing is that you will get the job, but the position might be different than what you're expecting. But they do want you. Absolutely. Yes.
Yay.
Mm-hmm.
Keep saying yay, but I am happy when they're good things. It does make me happy. Lori is wondering, is my Jimmy okay?
Is Jimmy a cat?
No, I don't know.
Or does he cat around? One of the two. Oh, okay, let's see if he's okay. You are sensing that something has happened, and it has. However, the answer is he is okay. Okay?
The short answer to that.
Yes, that was the short answer. But I'm validating her sense that
Yeah.
maybe something isn't quite right. That is true, but it's not something to be extraordinarily worried about.
That okay is there.
Yes,
That's,
yes.
there you go. Tina is saying, will I return to work after being home for years?
For years.
Yes.
I'm surprised you haven't left out of the house sooner than that. It's important that you do so for your own happiness and for your own well-being. It's time to get out there. You probably won't pick up exactly in what you used to do or how you used to do it, but it's going to be, and you will fit into the workspace, work environment. You haven't lost anything by being gone for that long, and you're going to really enjoy it. You're going to see a different aspect of how you've grown. And even if you were locked up at the house all that time, you have grown, and you will bring that into your experience outside, in the outside world as well.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. Darcy
is saying, is Jimmy good for me? A different Jimmy, I'm guessing.
We hope. Maybe she knows how Jimmy is. Is Jimmy good for me?
Yes.
So they're saying Jimmy is good for you, but why can't you answer that question for yourself? So, why doubt your own self? Because the truth is, you don't doubt him, you doubt you. So gain in confidence, gain your confidence, and that's what makes relationships strong. Thank you. Spoken like a true whatever. Yeah.
There you go.
Starting to sound like Judge Judy or something. Yeah.
Again, for anyone new here, welcome. I know we're getting towards the end here. We do have a few more questions we can get to, but you've been with us for about a year and a half now.
Mm-hmm.
What we had to tell
Way
you.
too long.
No, not long enough. You can't leave me. I love you.
Oh, I love you too, sweetie.
I do. You.
And Dylan does readings, by the way.
I don't.
Oh.
I do the aura photos.
Is that a secret?
No, I do. I work with the aura photos up at the counter when,
Go ahead.
when I'm up there.
Yes, April, I did say that, okay?
I have been known to. I did a few weeks ago, actually. I did do some readings a couple weeks ago. But I don't think we can really work at the store if we can't at least give some insight somewhere. But no, we do the aura photos all day up at the counter, and that's what I kind of help with. So if you want to come in and see Constantina or get an aura photo, because they're a lot of fun, and any of the girls up at the front counter do those, and they're amazing at them. And you can come in and see us at 3114 East Indian School Road. We're in Phoenix. Or you can, and if you can't come in but still want to get a reading from Constantina here, like if you had a question tonight and maybe she didn't go as far into it as you would like.
Or I was completely wrong. Please feel free to tell me.
Give us a call. Let us know. No, everyone so far tonight has been, saying some wonderful things about, everything you've been helping with. But you guys can give us a call and let us know at 3114, or that's our address, not our phone number, 480-949-1888. Long day. But, no, but yeah, we do have a few minutes left, so let's get a couple more questions in and see what we can help people out with.
Mm-hmm.
Teresa is wondering if she should stay at the company she works for now.
Well, they're not paying you enough money, are they? So, to honor your own self, you need to find a job that pays you what you're worth. So, move on.
Short, sweet, and simple.
Short, sweet. It's easy for me to tell you to do that. Yes.
Sometimes easier said than done, right?
Yes, exactly.
We have Carrie wondering, how does my business look for the next year? Again, see, we got some more business ones for you there.
This is good. Okay. Last year was quite a struggle, but this year is going to be much more successful. Remember that it's like when you gain weight. The more pounds you gain, the longer it takes to lose. So the more money you lost last year, it's going to take a little longer to come back up, but it will come back up. Don't look at me. Keep seeing these tiny bubbles all over the screen. I feel like Lawrence Welk is here with us.
People are saying that they love us and they like us, and it's a lot of fun to see us like this, basically. Let's see. We have people sending us Reiki and love. Amy is wondering, should I stay in the leadership position I'm in at work?
Absolutely. You were born to run. They immediately showed me horses on a racetrack. And you are a winner. And you need to stay in the position that you win at. It's very important. Don't try to go behind, because that's not where you belong. You belong out in front. And everybody else belongs behind you, so you can take the bullet. No, I'm just. But you are a natural born leader. Not everybody is. Some people have to learn it. People will follow you. I bet if they're in the market, they follow you right and look at everything that you're looking at and buy. You go in a store, people come in right behind you. If you're a natural, and that's just the way it is.
There you go. We have time for a couple more. We have Satara asking, can I get one on love and finances for myself? So,
I'm in love with finances too. Sorry.
I mean, I'm in love with the money aspect to it. So,
it's so much easier to love somebody when they have money.
Easier, but not always needed. I don't know.
I'm 63. I'll guarantee you, it is needed.
Well, I'm glad my husband has money then. So glad
What
I
did she
wasn't watching.
ask? Finances and love.
love.
Yeah, yes, you will find love. If you're not already in that relationship, you should be by the end of the year. And your finances, you are meant to, you came in to this life with the path of acquiring and having success. So that's what you're going to do in both areas. You will find yourself a very well-balanced person, but all kidding aside, you need to make your relationship with someone who has the same goals as you do. Don't just marry for love, in other words. You marry for compatibility and money.
And money. Secretly, it's always there. No. Energy.
Oh, sorry.
We have someone who...
That was the horse part of me.
Someone whose name on here is Energy Gypsy, and they say, can you comment on me moving to a new home?
Rest home? Sorry. I'm so sorry. It is water. I promise you. Stop it. It's your fault. Oh, snorting again. Wow. Yes, I actually say that you will be able to purchase your own home if you don't already own your own home. And you'll be very, very comfortable in it. So, yes, start picturing what you want, because it's coming.
Yay! Again with the yays.
Yes. Buy a newer home rather than an older home.
There you go. Well, we still have time for a couple more. We have Jessica wondering, should I leave nursing and go back to school?
You should have gone to school before you went out nursing. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry about that. Okay. You're a natural caregiver, and that's why you were drawn into nursing. But you've done that many lifetimes before, so it's now time for you to branch out or expand. You're actually capable of being a doctor if that's what you wanted to do, and you have the intelligence for it. You want to do something that is going to excite you and keep you interested in the future and not wear you down. And being a nurse and the system we have now for nursing wears people out. Enough said, okay.
And we'll do one more tonight, and it's going to come from Tracy.
Yes, go back to school. Excuse me.
There you
Go
go.
ahead.
Tracy is saying, will my daughter need another surgery?
Probably, but this time you're going to do, not that you didn't research who was doing the surgery, but I believe you're going to have a different surgeon this time, and that's important. That's important. Then that ensures success, and I'm actually hearing that it would behoove you to get a doctor that is from a teaching school, university, like UCLA or something like that. You want somebody who, they're also going forward with a lot of, what do you call it? Not invention, but they're cutting edge of the medical area that this requires. Expect a solution to what's going on, and you will find it.
Okay, There you go. Unfortunately, we don't have any more time tonight. I gotta let this one get home and get home myself. But we are here every Thursday for Third-eye Thursday at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So please come back, bring your questions, and keep trying. If you can't, if I didn't get to your question tonight, I'm really sorry. But if you enjoyed how Constantina reads and being here with us, then please come in and see her at 3114 East Indian School Road. We're in Phoenix. Or if you can't come in, if you live out of state, or even just have don't really want to get out of your house, I know how that goes, you can give us a call at 480-949-1888. Thank you all so much for being here with us tonight. We thoroughly enjoyed it, and we can't wait to see you guys next week. Thank you.
Thank you very much.